After a significant time away, we finally decided to get back to the Idiot Farmers channel. So welcome back to those of you who've missed us. We're glad to be back. To those of you who don't know who we are, welcome to the channel. Peaches. I'm parboiling the peaches, which makes them easier to peel. And then putting them in here. And then we have our jars ready. And I've made some simple syrup, which is a light simple syrup, which is about 20% sugar. And we'll can them in those. Yeah, this just kind of peels right off since it was parboiling. That's what we're looking for. Take these out and we're going to let that water get back up to temperature while I'm peeling those ones. So we got that whole thing done. Here's the implements I used for it. And from that I got 5 quarts of peaches, which we're now doing a hot water canning for. And there was a little bit of peach left over, so I thought, why not try a little bit of infusion? We won't talk about the name of that, but so over here you've got white peach infused vodka. So we're gonna let that sit for a couple of weeks and then strain it out and see how it tastes. I'll let you know. Here is the pulverized ketchup mixture, and here we're just infusing that apple cider vinegar with all those spices. We're going to give that a couple more minutes to infuse, turn it down a little bit, and then we'll strain that into it and then just let it cook for a couple hours. So after finishing the ketchup today, my neighbor brought over a whole lot of tomatoes. And so we started over and now we're making spaghetti sauce and chili fixing for the wintertime. So here's a shot of that. Here we have the chili fixing. This has chili powder, garlic, onions, tomatoes, salt and pepper, obviously, and a couple of other little things that I threw in there to make our chili very umami and hearty. And then over here we have what's going to be eventually spaghetti sauce, which has rosemary, oregano, and basil that we're growing here on the farm, garlic, the tomatoes from the neighbor, and some sugar and salt and pepper. And once we get this cooked down a little bit, we're going to run that through our Vitamixer also, and then we're going to let it cook down to a certain point. It'll be spaghetti sauce, and then I'm going to cook it down, put a little bit more sugar in it, cook it down a little further, and that will be some pizza sauce, because we like to make our own homemade pizzas with our uni grill. So that's what that's going to be. And then we also got some cabbage. So we have some cabbage we're going to fry tonight, but we also shredded our cabbage, and that's going to go in the freezer for future use. So been quite a day here on the farm today, trying to make sure we preserve all of our food. One thing that neither one of us really enjoy is wasting food. So when we get food from neighbors or we harvest it ourselves, we do like to make sure that we preserve it for later use. So we spent this morning harvesting grapes from our grapevines, and this is what we have so far. I'm separating them from the stems, and we are going to make a Concord grape pie from this cookbook, which I believe was a Betty Crocker cookbook from some point in time. Oh, I take it back. It's a new Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. Today, we were out in the field and we have a beautiful grapevine. And this year was a really good year for grapes. So we've harvested some Concord grapes. And I was just gonna make some grape jelly with it. We don't have enough to make wine or anything like that. But an interesting little story. So yesterday, I was working at the nursing home, which I now take care of patients in nursing homes. And I was taking care of a young lady who was 83 or 84 years old, who was in there because she had fallen off of a ladder because she was harvesting grapes at her farm, and she was going to make a Concord grape pie. And I thought, what? I've never heard of a Concord grape pie. So she said, yeah, she said it was actually an old Amish recipe that she had found, and she found a vintage cookbook, and she was able to get the recipe. So I came home and I found this cookbook. I do not know how old it is. It's missing the title page. I do know that it is a new Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. But as far as having any kind of dates in it, I've been unable to find any dates. But lo and behold, here we go, a recipe for Concord grape pie. So that's what we're going to do today, is to make a Concord grape pie based on this recipe. And my plan is to take a piece to her when I go see her on Monday. So the recipe calls for 3 cups of Concord grapes, 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I have to get my readers off for that. 1/2 teaspoon of grated lemon rind, 1 recipe pastry, and 2 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am terrible at making pastries. So voila, I know it's sacrilegious, but I actually really like these pie crusts, and that's what I'm gonna use. So here we go. I forgot, you have to de-seed the grapes. And this recipe actually calls for the whole grape. So, you know, with Concord grapes have this really thick, tough outer skin, and then the inside of the grape is the part that most people eat. Very sweet, super sweet. I also have very large seeds in them, but this recipe calls for the skins, but not the seeds. And you don't need to watch me spend the next 25 minutes getting seeds out of the grapes, so we'll come back. All right, so we have our 3 cups of grapes. Now to those 3 cups of grapes, we are to mix the sugar, flour, salt, and lemon. So it's 1 cup of sugar. 3 tablespoons of flour. We had a little issue with pantry moths, and so most of the things that are in our pantry now are in some kind of a plastic container. 3 tablespoons of flour, an eighth of a teaspoon of salt. So we're just gonna dash that in there. And then a half teaspoon of grated lemon rind. So, this was a gift from my daughter from when she went to Paris. Quite nice. And again, we're not gonna sure that, we're just gonna grate this lemon rind right into the thing. Okay. And that's to be mixed well. And this is a 2-crust pie, so we're going to unroll one of the crusts, pour the topping in, and then the second crust is supposed to be fancy. So, and this is just straight out of the package. I don't do anything fancy with these, for the bottom part anyways. And I'm just gonna throw that in to the pie plate, kind of squish it out. And then we'll take our mixture of the grapes. This does not look super appetizing, but we'll go with it. We made this for a reason at some point, right? It doesn't make a whole lot, I gotta be honest with you. This is kind of weird looking. Not gonna lie. Just kind of mixing it up a little bit. Some of the flour kind of clumped up. So I'm getting the clumps of flour out of there. So here we are. This is our grape pie. Oops, just got them. And then for the top, it says to do a lattice. So we've got a pizza cutter. And we're just gonna cut strips and then lay them across like lattice work. And that's what we're doing, just building the pie, making a little lattice work decorative top on it. So this is supposed to kind of go over and under. Boom. Do that with the next one. I think we'll go under. Over, under, over. And then another one. Under, over. Under, over. We'll just kind of put some over here on the side. And voila, we have our pie. So there it is. Now we have to bake this for 450 degrees for 15 minutes and then 350 for 30 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and bake it and I'll show you what it's like when it's out. All right, getting ready to make our jam now. So I've got all of the grapes without their skins. And then over here, I took the skins and kind of ground them up kind of coarsely. And by the way, the pie just got out of the oven. So there we are, beautiful. It looks really good actually, so can't wait to dig in. So we are looking into different ways to label our new products as we make them, and I found this product online which seemed like it was fairly reasonably priced and easy to use, and I was absolutely right. I've been messing with it for about 10 minutes, and look, I've already got some labels printed out, so I think this is a great product. I'll do more on it later. Thanks again for watching The Idiot Farmer. We enjoy everyone's support, and we hope to see you back at the next episode. Be well.